everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm taking two. Had a little technical difficulties again. I don't know. I got to get better equipment. Getting there, getting there. Positive thoughts, positive thoughts. So, welcome to the Jezebelle Trinity. This is the Jezebelle Trinity podcast, and my name is Trinity Stella. I'll be your host this evening. And for tonight, I'm following up on one of the seven grandfather teachings and based on healing and recovery. And Monday was the seven, well, first of all, seven grandfather teachings are wisdom, truth, honesty, bravery, humility, love, and respect. I always forget one because I don't know them in order, but Monday was humility, and Tuesday flowed into love. Wednesday, I did truth, but I tried to stream to Instagram and I had a little bit of technical difficulties there because it was a little more complicated to stream to that platform. So it ended up getting deleted. And then this one got deleted earlier. So this is what must be meant to be. So, truth, as far as a teaching that applies to healing and recovery. What does owning your truth and standing in your truth mean to you? What do you think it means? For me, it means being who I am, not pretending to be who I think I am or putting up a front, hiding behind pride, and choosing from my heart, making the hard decisions, hard choices, being different, not going with the crowd. And how does that relate to healing? How does that help healing? How does that help us heal truth? It helps free, free, free yourself. You know, standing in my truth is who am I? I used drugs. I was in prison. I did all that and I stand in that. I won't deny it. You know, I'm not ashamed of my past because I was ashamed of my past for, I want to say, 10 years, maybe longer. But living in shame of my past kept me stuck in not wanting to move forward, not wanting to own what I did, to stay in denial. And when I started to heal, I had to work on things, traumas that affected me, that happened in my younger years that I didn't know happened. I carrying on traumas that came from generations before me, and that, you know, that happens, you know, like a parent who's angry at their parent teaches me how to be angry at that parent for something that I never experienced, but it's embedded in my head to be angry. Or my parent teaching me how to not feel, that feeling was weak. And I know once you become an adult that you're supposed to take accountability for your actions, but in order to do that, you have to first become aware of what is wrong. How do you become aware of what is wrong is, how do you do that? How do you think you become aware of something being wrong? Maybe a little inner voice nudging you saying that something's not right, listening to it. And in order to listen to that inner voice, you know, cutting out the distractions, like constantly being on my phone and seeing what's going on, distracting myself from what's going on here inside my mind or my body, my emotions, and focusing it on something else outside of me. Then I'm not looking at myself. So, and owning your truth is scary because usually when you own your truth, you're stepping away from the crowd, because we're all different. We all have unique traits, personalities, and we're all healing very differently, also. And I think because there's a lot of shifting going on, that maybe because we're going from surviving, surviving to thriving, there's a lot of confusion going on, and there's a lot of mental health issues going on with others around us or myself, or, and there's a lot of changes going on. And do we have the resources to help people acknowledge these imbalances, instead of uh, pointing out, saying something's wrong, or, and not judging somebody by what they have to do to survive, by the choices they make. How do we change our perspective from judging and blaming somebody for the choices that they had to make in order to survive, because we don't know what somebody's going through to make what as to why they're making the choices they're making. Only they know their own truth, as I do my own truth. And that is something where balancing my spiritual side comes in to help me, because the only other person that knows what I go through and why I make the decisions I make is Creator. And that is personal. But how do I feel comfortable? How would I feel comfortable in expressing that with anybody else? Who could understand without judging me? And that's why I'm a certified peer specialist, because I've lived through experiences, I've healed things when nobody would um, understand and judge and point fingers at me, shame me, and I felt like everybody turned their back. The people that were close to me, and instead of me lashing out, I'm different, so I kind of internalized it and started looking inward and becoming aware of my own reactions. And that takes a lot of work. Not everybody can do that, but we should be able to allow that for others to do that. We should make that more of the norm, provide these safe spaces for people to express themselves without the fear of being judged or stigmatized with labels. And there's just a lot of fear of being authentic, being to be your authentic self, because right now, I mean, it's always been, if you're weird or if you're different, if you're not like everybody else, and you're kind of outcast, the black sheep, the the odd ducks. And what do we do for the ones that aren't stable enough to handle it on their own? Who do they turn to? I want to say that I'm grateful that I had the spiritual background, the the connection to creator, the strength, and to not take it out on hurting other people, because I was hurt and I did hurt people with my words and with my actions, sometimes physically, and I was lucky to not seriously hurt anybody, and I'm grateful for that. But I mean, what do we do for the ones that don't have that luxury to, or don't have that strength, that need that extra support, that need that extra guidance? Um, and I just want to say that I'm very proud of all the peer support people that are learning, getting certified and standing up for all of us. We're coming together to share our lived experience, to be the bridge for those that need that lived experience. Um, how can you teach somebody to swim if you've never swam yourself? Or how do you teach somebody to swim from a book? How do you teach? Oh, there was this. I heard something today, and I just want to say, like, lived experience. I might not have all the letters behind my name or the money that was spent for school. I might not have the money that was spent on school to have all the letters behind my name, but I do have the lived experience, and I probably spent about as much on an education on drugs living that experience. I don't know, I kind of butchered that, but I probably spent like $1 million on drugs, which is, I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but that's my lived experience. And to come survive that, and to change my life around, to heal the things that I had to go through to make better choices, to become better, is a gift, and I'm grateful. And I feel it's my responsibility to share that gift with those that need it, to share my story, our stories with others, to empower them that they can do it too. I mean, we just don't have enough mental health services for the problems that everybody are going through. I mean, we all are going through it. There's not one person that has not had trauma. And that's a fact, because living a human life, we're all going to experience trauma. And healing, and I've always said that, if we heal ourselves, we'll heal the land. And if we heal ourselves, the system won't even know what to do with us anymore, because the system thrives off pain and hurt. And if all of us started to heal, the system would need to change. And if we all started to heal, we'd all start seeing a different perspective of, having more compassion for one another. And I just want to end it on that note. Standing in your truth is scary and it takes courage, but I see you. I understand. And when you can run through that fear of being different and own your authenticity, be your authentic self, you shine, your light shines bright, and you shine that light for others that want to do the same. But I love all you guys, and I have 100% respect for you all, and a whole lot of love and peace And tomorrow's teaching, I think, will be on bravery. Join me tomorrow. And I won't be able to start at 7 or 8, so I might go ahead and try and go a little earlier due to schedule. I'm still kind of working out the schedule, but tomorrow's bravery. And I think that is a good flow from truth, because you have to do brave acts to own your truth, and they all flow together. But all right, guys, you have a good night. Miigwech for walking with me, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Peace. Gigo Wabamen. That means see you later in Ojibwe. All right. Love ya.